It's still chilly, but not as chilly as outside, thankfully. Why do it's like we have moon energy to open these locks, but I already have like 10 of them.
You need that specific one.
How does that work?
I think it has to do with the moon button, actually.
Perhaps, I guess.
Hey, I got nothing better.
Also, why are there big Bowser doors just built into the bottom of this snow kingdom?
Bowser put them there or something.
They're fans.
Do none of the kingdoms in this world have a fucking military?
Guess not.
Well, I mean, some toads have spears, I think. Does that count?
If they know how to use them, sure. Just fucking fight back.
Nah.
It's like, there are two things you never find out about any of the peoples in the Mario world. How do they defend themselves, and how do they get food?
Well, they hit blocks and mushrooms pop out.
In fact, you know, Isle Delfino is the most well-developed place in the entire Mario universe, because even though you don't necessarily see that they have a military, you do find out about their law enforcement.
They also have fruits to eat too, so that's something. So you know that they're not just...
You sort of get the idea.
You see that everyone's standing to deliver us whether or not they have law enforcement and if they have fruit to eat.
Well, I mean, I guess we know what Yoshis eat because they eat Shy Guys.
They eat everything.
Why are you insisting on destroying all of the snow? Except for that
to see
one
if
little
anything's
chunk
in there.
you decided to leave.
They just gonna leave alone. My hand is now shaking violently.
Well, it's not like anything was in there anyway, so...
Yeah, no, but it's the principle of the thing. You're gonna clear out the rest of the snow, but you leave that one speck. Why? Why?
I was a little disappointed when the tornadoes didn't send you spinning like crazy up into the air like those ones in Galaxy's desert levels.
Yeah, the one that like dislocates your neck in like 30 different spots.
Yeah, that was fun.
I could go over there.
There's actually a hole in the wall, I think.
Yeah, there is. It's conveniently just right there. That the camera tries to hide from you a lot.
Yeah. It's camouflaged, but not so much that you won't notice it.
White on white.
So, okay, so random ass question. So obviously graphically, while I do think this game looks good, there are some rougher spots, like for example, the snow. Do you think this game was at one point developed for the Wii U and then ported to Switch?
No doubted.
Yeah, because
at least on its base version it was.
Because I know that the Switch is a step up from the Wii U, because you can see that even as much as stuff like Mario Kart or Hyrule Warriors, where the games look basically the same, but they run a little bit better. Like Hyrule Warriors, when playing in handheld mode, even when playing in handheld mode, but also in the HD mode, runs at more than 20 frames per second and has more enemies on screen. And Mario Kart 8 doesn't have a weird performance bug that it did in the Wii U, where like it duplicated a frame sometimes or something. I don't know the tech specifics. So, like, I know that it's better, but I don't think it's drastically better because they had to think about making it a portable system at the same time. So, I guess I'm just trying to say is that this game could probably run on a Wii U. I don't know if a game developed with the Switch in mind entirely would look even noticeably better, to the untrained eye. So
yeah, well, an interesting thing about the Wii U Switch comparison is that, like, I've played the Wii U and the Switch versions of Breath of the Wild now, because I only had a Wii U when the game first came out. And, like, both versions of the game have their performance flubs in places. The weird thing about it is they're in different places, Like, I think the Wii U has problems around towns with a lot of NPCs walking around and stuff.
Yeah, but the Wii U version probably has version-specific things as the original intent, and the Switch version's problems could be chalked up to it being a port.
Yeah,
potentially.
I suppose. I guess the point I was driving at, though, is that when the hardware capabilities are this close, it's a little difficult to tabulate better and worse, because it could just be that certain components of each system's hardware were slightly better for certain things.
Is Korok Forest any less abysmal running on Wii U?
I haven't gotten to Korok Forest in the Switch version yet, so I won't know.
Oh, okay. Well, it runs like ass on Switch, so I don't know if it runs any better on Wii U.
I don't remember it running like ass, but I could be remembering.
All
wrong.
of those trees, and grass. And
Although, are you talking about the about when the game is running portable? Ooh,
no, it's that bad when it's
docked.
and actually it's weird depending on what game it is. Sometimes it runs better portable than it does.
Huh.
Because it tries to go for a lower resolution almost always, and so it can handle it a little bit better, if that makes sense, you know.
I suppose that makes sense. Yeah. The oddball thing about the Switch is that when it's docked, the dock, like the only thing it really does is for the system's performance is it tells the system to use more of its resources.
Because it's constantly plugged in.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to worry about battery.
Not just because
Not
it's constantly
necessarily,
plugged
but
in. You could play it on a charger, and it would still be playing in portable mode. It's.
I would say, since the Switch has a better CPU and processor, the Wii U probably could run it, but there'd probably be a lot more frame dips.
Most likely. I mean, we'll never know because they'll never say, so.
Yeah, you know, porting Wii U games to Switch is one thing, but porting Switch games to Wii U is another.
Well, I wouldn't ask anyone to try porting a PlayStation 3 game to the PS2. That would be awful.
Well,
Ooh.
first off, I'm glad Ryan noticed the X on top of the thing, because I actually didn't.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes people do those sorts of things just for fun. Like, for example, someone made an Atari 2600 version of Super Mario Brothers, and it actually worked surprisingly well.
You know
like,
what
they
a better
have real
comparison?
screen scrolling and stuff like that, too.
You know what a better comparison to that would be? There are certain games, one that pops up in mind is Dragon Age Inquisition, that were made for the, for PS4, modern PC, and Xbox One tier hardware, but for some fucking reason, they released really, really, really bad PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 ports.
Oh, well, what year was that?
It was pretty early in the PS4, the Xbox One.
Well, then it makes sense.
It makes
because-
sense until you consider that the games look but fucking ugly.
Well,
because like they're
a lot of
running
people
on
don't.
they're running on they're basically console ports that are running on bottom barrel PC minimum specs. And if you've ever seen a PC game running on minimum specs, you know that is no way to play a game. Because
I understand though why they would do it. Because
I understand
Some people
why
really
they would
don't
do it.
mind.
I understand why they would do it, because BioWare's owned by EA and they want to make the big bucks. But okay, some people don't mind. That's kind of a laugh because, all right, the overall effect on the game is that everything is blurry as fuck. You know? Every single texture is blurry as fuck, and you're running at minimum frame rates half the time. So
yeah, I understand from a technical standpoint, especially nowadays where it's easier to see when the system's out for a while. The previous generation, I guess, don't really care about that because they just happen to play the game at all.
I thought that at first, and then I played it.
And then I found Jesus, and he showed me, no, this is not the way. Oh, you just fell right into that son of a bitch. I was expecting a little animation to play of you just sinking down.
Nope.
I didn't know you could do that, but apparently you can. How do you get out of this room?
I'm actually a bit. I felt a bit dumb in this part of the course because it took me a minute to realize I should just throw my hat at this sleeping moron.
Well, you know, Mario has actually has turned himself into a ball for an adventure before, in Mario Pinball Adventure or whatever the hell it's called for the Game Boy Advance. So
he also
should be
rose
able
into
to
a ball
play.
here, so.
Yeah, that's true. So he should be able to play. Gosh, these guys are racist.
Yeah, but apparently we just go straight from having the cake being stolen in an endless blizzard to, oh, now it's just fine.
They don't care, I think.
Yeah.
The cake icing.
That's the joke.
Anyway, the thing that you're supposed to look out for when you're looking for people that you can potentially possess is hats.
Does the guy
all
New
of-
Donk not have a fedora on when you take over his RC car?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. You see, that's a little harder for me to remember because the hat isn't
Everyone
as...
looks the same.
Yeah, the hat isn't as pronounced on there, but I
Even-
just assume everybody has one, you know?
Yeah, even the one T-Rex that attacks you actively has a hat on when he does it. And a mustache of his own. it's very strange. But yeah, like the sleeping guy that you're supposed to possess back there in the race course isn't just
Well,
asleep.
he's in here, but
He isn't just asleep. He's also the one that doesn't have a hat on.
that's
All
supposed to be a bit of a clue, yeah.
Yeah, all of the other guys either have a hood or a snow hat on. That's a fun detail.
Must run through all the snow.
It's interesting that they went with hats as a thing for this game because, yeah, you know, different hats do indeed have different cultural implications. I mean, they couldn't really go full whole hog on it because a lot of that stuff ties into religious stuff that, you know, would get people angry in the American side of the market.
I want Mario wearing a yarmulke. But if I had to imagine during development, they probably came up with the idea of what if Mario could become different enemies before they came up with the idea
with the hat idea.
hat reason for that to work. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, but I think the hat thing might have inspired them to do this whole world journey thing.
Well,
Yeah,
a
probably.
little presumptuous of you, Ryan. Give me the first place trophy now.
Well, I mean, I'm going to get it, so.
This minigame is fun, but it's also fucking annoying.
Just keep rolling, 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 rolling.
It's hard to figure out how to work the bouncing in your favor to gain speed.
It takes a little trial and error. I'm just rolling to
It
get
takes a
done
little
with the
trial
training.
and error, but even when it feels like I have a good idea of how it works, I can't seem to consistently get it right.
You see, it's one of those things that's actually kind of tricky, especially when it comes to games about speed, in that it's more fun when you don't feel like you're 100% in control, which is, because that's a thing in real life too. Like when you're going, like say riding your bike down a steep hill, it's fun and exhilarating, not just because you're going fast, but because, you know, there's the adrenaline rush of you don't feel like you're 100% in control. Now, of course, this is difficult to get right in a video game because we want the controls to feel responsive and smooth. So trying to make it fun because, oh, you're just on the edge of not being in control is a difficult thing to kind of thread the needle for, and it's why so many Sonic games in 3D don't have good controls to begin with, because, you know...
Well, anyway, the main gimmick of this mini game is that when you bounce off a surface, you bounce away from that surface. So if the surface is angled, you will gain a burst of speed in the direction that you are bouncing.
You can also chain bounces and get more speed that way.
Yeah, if you press
Yeah.
the button, like, basically just as soon as you hit the ground, too. Like, you can bounce left and right in between those and move forward pretty quick.
It's kind of like triple jumping, only you're bouncing.
Yeah, basically. The hardest part for me... Wow, you don't even have to try.
Yeah, the first race is frickin' easy.
Oh, yeah, there is two. Okay, I remembered it being a lot harder, but that's the second one, probably.
Yeah, the second one gets really tight.
Oh, a supersonic? I know one. Kind of kicks my ass in Smash a lot.
Unfortunately, he would only reference him from the Olympic Games.
They'll be playable in the next one.
I'm surprised that was worth a multi, man.
Well, if you didn't fancy the controls, it's probably an apology.